Hi, and welcome back to FPTV. My name is Daniel Drezner. I'm a blogger at foreignpolicy.com. I'm delighted to have one of FP's Global 100 top thinkers, Saskia Sassen, a professor at the University of Chicago, and the author of multiple...
And now at Columbia. I also left Chicago. We both left Chicago.
I am so sorry. At Columbia, the author of multiple books on the concept of the global city. So I guess my first question is, the standard fear of someone who doesn't know that much about cities would be the concern that particularly as the society is becoming more urbanized globally, you're seeing the rise of these sort of megalopolises, places like Lagos or Mexico City or so on and so forth. I mean, do those megalopolises create problems that in the United States we simply wouldn't understand? Or in fact, are the problems more generic than that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the megalopolis is by definition a challenge.
Right.
Because everything deborders everything. All systems are debordered. Now, it's true that the United States doesn't quite have that. But of course, most countries in the world do have that. So it is truly a global issue. I think it's sort of important to maybe distinguish with the global city. Mm-hmm. Frankfurt is a little city. It is a global city. Especially now that the Frankfurt Stock Exchange will own the New York Stock Exchange, the Paris Bourse, the Amsterdam. So the global city is just a strategic space that combines. The global city brings its own set of problems, though, and one of the big problems is very sharp inequality.
Right.
A story that recurs, over the world, across all the global cities.
I mean, one of the obvious points is that, for example, the 9/11 terrorists, many of them were exposed to the global city and somewhat resentful of their exposure to the global city. Yeah. As you see, obviously with the big event in 2011 was the Arab Spring and the notion of democratization potentially spreading to the Middle East. And, you can argue that Arabs have been one of, a significant portion of the global city migrating from the Middle East to elsewhere. Would you anticipate a potential reverse migration, and how would that affect the global cities as we think about them?
A migration from where? From, say, the United States?
From the United States or Europe.
To Cairo.
Right, exactly.
I would love that idea. I don't think that would happen, for some reason. But who knows? But that is a history that might happen in the future. It's a lovely idea that Americans decide that going to Cairo is what they should be doing. I must say that on my list of cities, they cut it off. Oh. I put Cairo and Beirut, not Cairo, Dubai, not Cairo, Saudi Arabia. Cairo and Beirut as one of these urban axes that emerged as significant for geopolitics. So, now that you ask the question, who knows? Maybe that might happen.
The obvious question to ask is, what is your favorite city?
Difficult to answer. Not because of questions of loyalty, but I have decided that, I travel a lot. I'm not a traveler, the British style, where you take travel seriously. I'm not a tourist.
Right.
I'm a nomad. And that means that wherever I am, I put down my tent. So, for instance, I was in Uganda, and I literally moved into Kampala in my head. I was there for 3 days, mind you. So I developed a certain type of range of engagements with cities. I just came from Australia. I literally just arrived, 3 hours ago there in Dulles. And so I really liked Sydney.
It's a gorgeous city.
And Adelaide, which is not a gorgeous city. And in Adelaide, there is Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Adelaide, I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
And there I went to see and spend some time with them. That is the nomad in me, and in that sense, but truth, honesty of product, London and New York are my two favorite cities.
Now, you can take the Fifth Amendment on this next question, but what is your least favorite city? What is the city that you have visited and think, I don't ever want to go there again?
Wow. I know that there are many of them, actually. Cities that come across like dead. Dead urban space. But, I can't really think of a name, I must say.
Atlanta. Okay, so we'll go forward.
Yes.
In your opinion, who is the most important past thinker that we need to be thinking about today? Someone who's passed away, obviously, but someone who should influence the way we should think about the way the world is going forward.
Okay, well, I thought you were going to ask who has influenced me
along the line. That's entirely fair.
And then I was going to say, I grew up in Latin America, so inevitably, Carlos Marx is a key influence. whether you like him or not, there is no way that growing up in Latin America you're not going to be influenced. Now, I would say that in the last 10 years, Karl Marx's influence has risen again. I would say, but it has risen. Right now, what I would say is that Keynes, it really is the return of Keynes in a way that I would say 15 years ago you would not have expected. It's not that we can return to his thinking, but the arguments that he makes about
and the scope of his thinking.
Yeah, and connecting government and economy. I think that we may need some good dosage, of Keynesianism.
And over this past year, what books or movies have, or if any, have profoundly affected you?
Movies, Inside Job.
Ah, okay.
The financial. I thought that was spectacular.
Done by a political scientist, you should know.
Is that a political scientist?
The director was he's now a film director, but he got his PhD in political science from MIT.
Well, It was brilliant. I thought that was a brilliant film.
And, FP is hardly omniscient. I'm sure there were global thinkers that we missed in our intense scouring of the world. Is there anyone that you can think that for next year we should give a close look at in terms of global thinkers?
Well, I think there's a whole range of thinkers and activists, because it's through their activism often that they become visible in Latin America, in India. So Vandana Shiva. Okay. She has been at it for 20 years in a very serious way on the environmental question in a very deep way. In Latin America, you have a whole bunch of women who are fantastic organizers. For instance, the women in Guatemala City who are working at bringing the city back into their lives. And you know how we had in the United States, Take Back the Night, that movement? Yeah. Well, there it is, Take Back the City. And Guatemala is a violent place. So people like that, now they're difficult to find, they are not self-evident. Actually, I thought I was difficult to find too. But so we can find them. We can find them.
Well, Saskia, thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you.